Lizzie says good morning too. Day 158. Cooking down the refrigerator, freezer, working pantry food. Well, the refrigerator is looking kind of empty, which is just what I wanted to do. I wanted to use up every bit of my produce, which I did, except that rutabaga is still in there. And I think there's one apple, so I will use those up as well. And I still have some potatoes and some onions. So I think today I may use a potato, and I'll cook up a couple of those. But right now I have quite a bit of pasta casserole, so I probably don't need to cook today, which is good because I do want to work in the garden. But today is not the best day for me. I'm very, very sore, so we'll see how much I get done. I don't know. I'll have to take some naproxen, and which I hate to do, but that seems to help. And sometimes when you've got things to do, you just have to do it. I'm not a big one for taking pain medication because having worked in nursing for 20 years, I know that you reach a threshold with pain medication and then you have to up the dosage or whatever where it doesn't work as effectively. So I try to limit my intake of pain medication as much as I can. So, but I realize there are a lot of people out there who just can't even function without it. So my heart goes out to those people because I don't really have an answer for that. You know, you can do therapy, you can take medication, you can do biofeedback, all sorts of things, but not everything works for everybody. So you have to figure out what it is that works the best for you, and if that's rest, then you need to do that. So my go-to is rest when I need to, and I try and work my way through it as best I can. So we'll see what the day brings. Today's going to be 85, which is a change from the 92 or 3 that they had predicted. And I'll just be wearing my little fan that I got as seen on TV. That thing really works. So it does keep me cool because all of a sudden I don't get hot flashes. I didn't have hot flashes real bad when I went through the change, but every now and then when it's hot out, I just have a meltdown. It's like my body can't cool itself off. So the fan that I got has really been helpful for that. And I wear my little shade hat, and I look like a real granny gardening, but that's okay. I don't mind that at all. So I've still got a lot of eggs, so I may have some eggs for breakfast. I'm not sure. But we'll take a look in a little while and see what's for breakfast, day 158. So I'm going to enjoy my coffee, and I'll be back. All right, it's time for breakfast, day 158. Let's see what we have. All right. Got lots of pasta for dinner, so I don't have to worry about dinner. And I forgot, I still do have grapes. They're still good. I have yogurt. I still have this hot dog, too, that I can have for dinner. And I still have some buns, and I still have my coleslaw. So dinner is taken care of. I still have one slice of rye bread, And I have the loaf of Walmart bread that I bought the other day that I haven't even used yet. So I think, I will probably have, I did boil some eggs. I'll have eggs. And I'm going to have some cheese with that. And some of the Walmart bread, which is way back there. This is a really, really deep freezer, or refrigerator and freezer. So sometimes, I mean, it's nice for storing food, but sometimes getting the food out, you know, that's why I have all these sliding bins and things. So I'm going to have that. And let's take a look in the freezer. I think I have some sausage patties. Vegetarian, of course. But, you know, the things that I cook, you can always substitute real meat if that's what you eat. These are just general ideas of what you can make. All right, yeah, I have these Impossible sausage patties. I'm going to make a sandwich. All right, looking good. I still have a bread down here I forgot about. Got to remember that. But that'll stay frozen. All right, and this is looking good, better, way better. Every day it looks better. Okay, so I will meet you at the stove. I've got my phone set up that every time I say the word cheese, it takes my picture. So anyway, I'm just going to cut this in 3. So you can do that if you want a bun. And then I'll save the other piece of bread for something else, make some toast or something. But, you know, there's a reasonable bun now. All right, I'm going to cook these and I'll be back. Okay, the air fryer seemed to have done a good job with the patties. I'm going to eat one this morning and I'm going to save one for later. I don't know what I'm going to eat it with, but anyway, I like mayo on mine. So I put a little mayo on there. Boy, I'll tell you, mayonnaise has gotten so expensive. It's ridiculous. But you can make your own mayo out of tofu, or you can use aquafaba, which is the juice from chickpeas. So I'm just going to take some of this hard-boiled egg that I cooked this morning. I cooked 4 of them for salad, except I don't have any lettuce. But I can make egg salad, which I may do later. And of course my buddies are waiting for their egg. They love hard-boiled eggs. So, okay, there's one for you and one for you, and I have to give Chloe hers. Alright, Chloe's a pokey eater, so. And then I'm just going to put this cheese on here. Oops, I should have put it on before I put the egg on. Operator failure. You know, that's all you get. I'm eating the rest of the egg. I'm eating the rest, that's mine. I do like to share some things with my dogs, but it's always 3. So, alright, anyway, there we have that. And then I'm going to cut one of these sausages in half and just distribute it a sandwich. Okay, so there we have it. Breakfast, day 158. So I'm going to eat this, and then I'll be sitting here at my kitchen table, finishing up my morning coffee. Cheers to you. And I might just have a second cup. Anyway, what I'm doing is, I'm doing my bloom page, and on that I'm writing down the seeds that I want to plant out in my pot garden. Well, it's not really a pot garden. that came out wrong. Anyway, you know what I mean. Container, that's the word I'm looking for, in my container garden. Although I imagine some people grow the other element in their gardens too. Anyway, I have this notebook that I keep for my gardening, and in here I made a list of the veggies that I want to plant and like to plant, and I have what goes with what. In other words, the companion planting. So I don't always have to look that up because the list is so extensive I can't memorize it all. So I have garden plans that I put in here, and then I have I made a list of determinate and indeterminate tomatoes. So I have a big long list of those. Now, if you don't know, if you're new to gardening, determinate tomatoes are like the bush type of tomatoes. They don't grow in a vine real tall. And those you don't prune a lot because they grow tomatoes off all the shoots. Plus that, they bear their fruit more or less all at once, whereas the indeterminate tomatoes, they continue to grow into a vine. Now what I want to do this year is keep it down. For the indeterminate, I want to keep it to a single stalk so that I can plant other things in the same container, so they're not all over the place. So it's something new I'm going to try. So I have that in this book, and this book has come in really handy. I make a lot of notes in here. And then I have the tomato companions. Tomatoes usually are pretty friendly with most other vegetation, but not all. I have a good combination thing in here. And then I put like an example for this Swiss chard, what it likes to live with and what it does not like to live with. So Swiss chard doesn't like potatoes, corn, cukes, melons, or herbs except mint. So I make all these notes in here. I also, somewhere in here, have a list of I made a list of determinate and indeterminate potatoes. Now what that is, the determinate potatoes, from what I've read, they make their cluster of potatoes like around the bottom of the potato. And the indeterminate potatoes, they grow potatoes up the stalk. So those, you know, you kind of layer those as they grow. So anyway, and then I have in here what plants I can, are frost hardy, what I can plant in March in Zone 6. I'm in Zone 6 here, which is Midwest, and hang on. And I found this online, and it's Central Midwest Vegetable Planting Guide. I think if you Google that, it might come up. But I don't have the website where I got this. But this is very helpful. It's been very helpful. It's like a guide to what you can plant and where to plant it. Like in January, it tells you what you can plant indoors. In March, it tells you indoors again. April, things that you can plant indoors. And then it goes into May, and it tells you all the things that you can plant outside. So we're in May now, and it goes through all the months of the year. And I printed a second page of the May garden, and what I'm doing with that is I'm just highlighting May, what I want to plant. So in other words, this is my worksheet, and this one is my keeper page that I don't want to write on. So I just make copies of this on my printer. So between all of those, hopefully I'll get some of my things in, and then I'm going through my seeds and pulling out all the seeds that I want to plant. And while I'm doing that, I'm also making labels, because that's important, because I always think, oh, I'll remember, and then I don't remember. So anyway, that's what I'm doing this morning. And the Impossible savory sausage was very good. I give it a thumbs up. So I'm going to get back to my thing here, because I have to go out and water, because it is going to be warm today, but it's a very pleasant day. So I'll be back later. I'm exhausted. I moved one of those city picker gardens, and it was full of very wet, heavy dirt. And it was also full of earthworms, which was really nice. So I tried to save the earthworms to put back in there, but I've had it. So I'm just having a cold drink in my sippy cup. And I don't know if I can do any more today in the garden. But it's starting to look pretty good. It still needs lots of work. But I'm just going to sit here for about a half an hour at least. All right, well, I'll be back in a little bit. Boy, I'm sure glad I made dinner yesterday, because I don't feel like cooking at all. All right, I'll be back. Here in my garden, I've recovered somewhat, and these flowers are doing well, but I don't know what's happening to my impatiens. One by one, they're sort of just falling over. I don't know, too much water. I don't know. Oh well, anyway, I want to move these 3 pots into my veggie garden. So I'll have a little bit more room here. Then I'm going to spray paint this black, because being white it sticks out like a sore thumb. I don't like it. So I'm going to put some sort of little flower pots in there. Over there, that's all done. I've got some begonias going in there. And I still haven't planted anything in these, but I will. And I never know what to do with my winter covers. If anybody has any really good suggestions, because they take up so much room in the garage, I don't want to really put them in there, so any welcome ideas would be good. So, yep, this is what's going on. And that looks terrible, but like I said, I have to put these away. And over here, I want to hang this up here. So I've got that going on, and then this is looking better. Everything's starting to green up. And then this is the second box that I just moved. So I'm thinking of, I just want a little path in the veggie garden. I think I'm going to plant my kohlrabi in there. They're just waiting there for a new home. And then I have these little tables, so I can put 2 more of the city pickers here, raise them up. And I just want a little path so I can get to all my veggies. These are growing nicely. I planted those a few days ago. My sprinkler. And then I want to put those big black pots that I just showed you over here. But those will be on the ground with something in them. So this is pretty much an overview of my veggie garden. My container garden. Excuse the hoses. So we'll see. How you doing, buddy? Are you too hot? You're such a good boy. You need a haircut and a bath. You all 3 do. Yes, you do. So this is an overview of the seating area that I was just sitting in. I'd like to get a table with an umbrella hole so I could move this stuff forward and have it more like centralized. And this little table does not have an umbrella hole. So, and those things are starting to rust, but I don't know. So much work to do. I'm trying to get it set up so that I can get everything set up for future me. So this is another view of the garden. It's actually a better view. And this is all ivy that I planted years ago, and it's all growing back. So it's starting to become a peaceful garden. Here is the $15 wind chime I bought at Mark's. And of course now the wind isn't blowing, but it's so pretty. Well, I wanted to share the... There it goes. It's so peaceful out here with the birds and the wind chimes. And my rhododendron, poor thing. It's a Charlie Brown rhododendron. It has 1 flower. So I think I'm going to go in and have a little snack. Maybe have a cup of tea. And there it goes. Anyway, garden's starting to shape up. And this palette, I'm going to stain it because it's sticking out like a sore thumb too. But I don't know yet what I want to make with that. So I'm going to go in and let's take a look at what I've done on the deck so far. Over here is my little hummingbird station that I zip tied all together here. All this. And then I'm going to spray paint it. So that's done. And the patio or the deck is, I'm starting to clean it up, but it needs way more work. So, all right. Let's see, here's my other lazy puppy. You lazy Chloe. Oh, it's hot out, huh? Yeah, you're just chilling. Yeah. That's nice. And Lizzie's just wandering around. All right. That was a little tour of my garden. I tried to save these peppers from last year, but those need to go. And still have my strawberries and petunias. Those are doing well. And I'm hoping these Meyer lemons ripen. It's looking healthier. It was starting to really look sad. I mean, it looked sad when I bought it, but... And my little fountain. It'll be nice once I get it done. And this is the beautiful basket my daughter got me. All right, I'm going in. Time for a little armchair gardening and a cup of coffee. That was a lot of work moving that box. It doesn't seem like it would be, but it is. So it just makes me realize how debilitating some things can be if you don't have them set up properly for your physical ability. So at this point, I start walking like I'm about 90. I can't stand up straight. I shuffle along. So then I know it's time to stretch out and rest a little bit. So what better way to rest than with a cup of coffee? So if you guys are watching my video, get yourself a cup of coffee. And that's it for me in the garden today. I've done all that I can do. And like I said, Tuesday I have a helper coming. And I really would like to get a couple more of those boxes moved. The thing with the boxes is I have to take all the dirt out because the dirt is so waterlogged and heavy, and it's compacted from, you know, years of adding more dirt. So it just needs to be fluffed up and fertilized, and so that's what I'm doing now. So once I get those up on a little table, it'll be much, much easier for me to continue to garden. So I'm hoping this works. If you guys have any great ideas that don't cost an arm and a leg, because I have to take cost into consideration too. Like I said, I'm at a point in life where, especially with all the inflation going on, I have to do things on the cheap. There's no other way. But that doesn't mean that you can't live a full and abundant life. You just have to make some adjustments. So I'm going to have a piece of chocolate. This is the chocolate from Aldi's, the Chaucer chocolate. And it's loaded. It's the milk chocolate with hazelnut. It's just loaded with hazelnuts. And this is such a good chocolate. So I'm going to have this with my coffee. And I just had the hot dog that I made yesterday, and I had some coleslaw on top of it because I was hungry. I usually don't eat lunch, but it was like 3 o'clock, so I probably won't be hungry for dinner for quite a while. So, but that's going to be leftovers, so that'll be fine. And then, but right now, I just need to rest. That's what I need to do. I need to rest my back. All right, well, I will be back in a little bit, and we'll see. Well, I already know what's for dinner. And now you know what's for dinner, too. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. All right, I had a nice rest. I feel a little better. My back doesn't hurt as much. So I just came up with my dinner, and I showed you this morning what I was going to have. So here is dinner, day 158, 159, whatever day it is. I still have some of my coleslaw, my pasta that I made yesterday. So I'm going to enjoy that. And then I'm going to wrap it up for the day. I did make some progress in the garden, not as much as I wanted to, but that's nothing new. I never do. But all in all, I'm satisfied. I have 4 more boxes to move, and even if I move 1 box a day, get it done, that'll be good. So all right, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.